Alrighty, what is up, guys? Evan Aldo here. If you enjoyed the content, leave a like. Wanted to show you what I'm looking at in the markets right now, why Bitcoin could come up a little bit more in the short term. We're going to look at the macro too. Macro, unfortunately, is looking like the rally is getting close to being over. Could be wrong, obviously. Latest in the exclusive Discord, what I've been doing, had some really good trades lately. So I doubled my Bitcoin long this morning, an older one from a while ago, and hit the first take profit. Now waiting for next take profit potentially. That's a risk-free trade right now. Stop loss at entry point. Those could be really good because you just let them ride risk-free. And then I did an ETH long as well this morning. That was a really good entry as well. So hit the first take profit. That was a good one. If you guys are interested in the Discord, link in the description below. Been improving it quite a bit. We're getting a little bit more like with charts. Been posting this. A lot of people have liked charts with technical targets. So definitely listen to a lot of your feedback, and we are getting a lot better with it. So if you guys are interested, link down below. Let's get into a little bit of the macro analysis. So the first thing here is the weekly. Obviously, split RSIs. When it came up to the top, you were almost at the top here. You had one more leg up, and then you came back down. But keep in mind, two red dots, kind of two waves, gave you the place down. Got one red dot, then the next one up there. So I think we're getting close to it. I mean, I'm not saying it's impossible to come up higher to 35K, maybe even 40K, but I'm thinking what it's looking like is Bitcoin, ETH are going to stay kind of sideways this week into the end of the month, potentially, while some alts ride, such as Cardano. Excuse me, kind of a mini altcoin season. Potentially, that's what I'm looking at right now. What we got to keep in mind too, I was kind of comparing it to the NASDAQ a little bit on the 3 week after the dot-com bubble. Look, all these green, and then he kind of rolled over and finally got into the red there. So we're getting close to getting into the red there, then rolled over. If we go on Bitcoin on the 3 week here, you almost went to the red there, then he came up. You're going to get a kind of trigger wave to the downside, maybe even another blood diamond like this. So there is potential. There's potential to repeat something kind of that nature. I mean, it was a big drop down. I mean, and going into the recession, all these things, I mean, I don't think we're going to come down 64%, but it is possible if you map it out from that high there, we could come down maybe up to 50% from, say, 31 ends up being the top. I don't know if it will be, but from the general area where we top out at, maybe a double bottom kind of into the end of the year, into early 2024. So I don't think anybody's, completely missed the boat just yet. Keep in mind, guys, a lot of people who bought down here at these low levels, they're going to be taking profits at some point. They almost doubled their money. So you are on the macro, you're probably heading close to a pullback. Other thing too, this is still not awful on the 3-day right here. Not awful because money flow is still coming up. So as long as this money flow kind of comes up, we have at least some sideways to more bullish potential. But once you get that bearish div, I think this one didn't work out here. Money flow wasn't coming out too bad, coming down a little bit. Once you get that next bearish div and money flow, high money flow starting to come out, that's where things get a bit more bearish. Same deal on the 2-day. The red dot's not that bad just yet. I think it's signaling that we're close, but it's not that bad just yet. But maybe the next red dot, maybe we'll have another green dot before the end of the month, and then the next red dot here probably will mark somewhat of a top in all likelihood, I think. Daily as well, you have a pretty big, bearish div right there. That could signify this top, but I do think, we may be sideways. You kind of maybe repeat something of this nature, be sideways, pop around the 30K area until early May or something, then potentially pull back from there. That's what I'm thinking is the most likely kind of scenario. Now, if we look at some of the middle time frames here, not telling us too much, money flow gradually come down. You may get a trigger wave here on the 8-hour right there, so that's a possibility. Short term still seems a bit more bullish. 4-hour coming up with the VWAP right there on Bitcoin, and I'll show you kind of what I was looking at when I took. Let me just turn on the different spiral lines on logarithmic, or where was it? Yeah. If you zoom in here, this is kind of what I was looking for when I added to the long, and also put a ETH long in. Was the 15-minute bullish div printing here confirmed. Came up a bit higher there. That worked out pretty well. These spiral lines do work out really well. And if you look at here on the 4-hour, VWAP coming up, like I mentioned, I think some of these deep anchor waves. And then if you look at just traditional TA here, reverse head and shoulders, your technical target is, I believe, 29.8. I did post about this in the Discord. So up to these areas, there was a spiral line on non-logarithmic that's a little bit closer. I think this area is a pretty good goal or somewhere close to it. I'm not saying that's going to happen, but I think there's a decent probability. It may lag around here a little bit, be a little bit choppy, but first head and shoulders kind of looks like you could come up a bit higher. The other thing too is we did have the blood diamond confirmed on the 6 hour here. Some of that one could be like that when you come up, you bounce around. I think it will kind of play out at some point here, but it may take some time. That's what I'm kind of thinking for that. The blood diamonds haven't been as good lately as they were back like in 2021, but there's still something to definitely look at. Also on the 4 hour, these EMAs, when they all turn into the gray, that could be a good place to look to potentially short. Here was a pretty good buy signal. Here was a pretty good buy signal. They're not all going to be buy signals, guys. You're eventually going to get something more like this here with the 4 hour. I think that could be a really good indication next time these come into the gray that you're finally going to be headed down. That's Bitcoin right now. Let's take a look at Ethereum. So Ethereum on the macro is kind of in the same deal as Bitcoin. Very split RSIs coming up here. Not as bad this time as last time, but they're still split. And I do think in all likelihood, it took another 2 more red dots there, but in all likelihood, you're getting close. You're getting close to that potential top. If it does play out, like I was talking about, it does play out like that, you're in for a ride. I don't know if it'll be as bad as that, but you can potentially. We go into a bad recession. A lot of alts continue to bleed against Bitcoin. Things really come down. There still is a decent case to be made for a lower low into the end of the year, into early 2024. So keep that in mind. Other thing, just like Bitcoin, this 2-day, this next bearish div could be what gives you a top, or just maybe a little bit more bullish action with this. And then we got to wait for the next red dot when money flow starts to come out. But this is some pretty high money flow here. Even if you look back here, what was this kind of case? High money flow, and then we're almost at that money flow. Maybe 2 more red dots, and then that was basically it for that rally. So keep that in mind, guys. Keep that in mind. That's an important thing to keep in mind here. And then money flow starting to come down there. It doesn't really tell us too much. Yeah, it's starting to get overheated on some of these time frames. It doesn't really tell us too much there. But into the short term, 4 hour, this VWAP's coming up. You may get a trigger wave. We could easily be sideways, bounce around here, get a jump up a bit higher here, just like I was talking about on Bitcoin. Bitcoin comes up a little bit more. This would probably come up to 2,100 again, another $20 or so. RSI is splitting apart coming up. This is the bullish case of split RSIs. 2 hour green dot, that would bring you up a bit higher. So I'm just chilling in my shorts, or my longs, with profits locked in right now. And we're coming down a little bit. I'm kind of thinking this would, we easily could roll over, come deeper into the red here on the 10-minute, but I'm kind of thinking it doesn't really have the reverse head and shoulders like Bitcoin does, but I do think you would get up back to a 2,100 with the money flow coming up potentially here. That's Ethereum. In terms of if we do see that altcoin season for next 2 weeks, I think we might, but I think it's going to be more, a little bit more of a mini one, not like we've seen in the past. You got Cardano here. You can make the argument you kind of are breaking out of a reverse head and shoulders. Your technical target's going to be somewhere around 56 cents. I think you could end up somewhere between like 50 cents to 55, 50 to 60 cents potentially into the end of the month if this pumps a lot. Everybody will be talking about once it pumps, and I think after that it's kind of just going to roll over potentially. Cardano has a lot of strength, especially against Ethereum. If I was going to mess with an altcoin right now, it's going to be Cardano, especially on this weekly bull div, hitting a big area, really big area that it usually bounces off against Ethereum. So keep that in mind, really big place. Now, if we look at the DXY here, it's showing a little bit of strength. I wouldn't count out the Dixie just yet, and this is what could kind of give us our sell in May, walk away type thing. Daily, a lot of LXs, looking for sell exhaustion, money flow coming up, important thing to realize, and we're kind of bouncing around 100. Now, I think between here to the end of the month, either you're going to be more bullish or you make a little bit of a lower low, but get a big jump kind of off of 100. I don't think we're going to lose 100 that easily. I would not count out the DXY just yet. You do have the LX there in the 2-day, but money flow keeps kind of creeping up here. You're getting that double bottom, that 3-day as well. That bullish div could be something pretty good. This could keep going up until sometime in 2024 when traditional markets bottom out. It could be more of a delayed thing for at least traditional markets, NASDAQ, S&P 500. Now, let's look at the NASDAQ a little bit on more of the short term. This is a pretty big place to look for. I think ultimately into the end of May, best case scenario, we could pump up a little bit more to 13 something, I think. I'm not always right. Don't get too mad at me if it goes higher. Who knows? But, you're getting some signs. Money flow is pretty high in the green. I think it could kind of roll over here. You're about to get a bearish div there on the daily, so it's got a little bit left potentially, but I think this next red dot kind of on the weekly will make you somewhat roll over, and you could kind of repeat, you know, this area. You could kind of repeat something like this if we do form a double top potentially, and then you're all the way back down into the summer. If we get a summer lull, a sell and may walk away type thing, a lot of these markets can get hit hard and your DXY can continue forward. So that's what I'm looking at right now. All right, guys, hope you enjoyed the video. Leave a like, subscribe to the channel. Check out my trading course if you are a beginner. A lot of really good strategies in there. A lot of people have really liked it. Really good market safe for a trading course. Link down below. Discount code BEARMARKET20, 20% off. If you sign up to any of the exchanges down below, you could get, well, with BingX, you could get one free trade, one free $100 trade. You could use leverage or whatever. They'll give you one free trade. Only caveat, the max to let you withdraw of that is $500. But hey, who knows? I mean, you get lucky, get one gambling trade. I mean, it's free. It could take two business days to show up, though. You got to be in one of the locations down below. But if you sign up to any exchanges down below and deposit at least $100, I will give you one free month in my exclusive Discord. Just shoot me a DM on Discord with your UID, and I will get you sorted. All right, guys. Hope you have a good one. Goodbye.